Hi, and welcome to Lemonade Legend, a podcast that celebrates women who have gone through breakthrough moments, shown vision stronger than their fears. And this is what the book that I will be publishing soon, The Lemonade Stand, is all about. So we have a number of authors. We're focusing this series on talking to our different authors. And today I'm very pleased to introduce Kristine Binder. So welcome, Kristine.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am doing
So
great.
excited to be here. Talk about the
Oh,
book.
so I have to, first of all, I have to say I know that you go by the name hashtag Tutu Lady,
That's
which
me.
we'll get into. We'll get into that so that our readers can and listeners can know what that's all about. I'm looking at your background. Is any of that stuff tutu stuff or just
It
fun fabrics
is.
and
There's my medals and a cape that I sometimes wear with Girls on the Run, and my flowers, medals from Girls on the Run races, and I have a big medal stand over there with the
wow?
tutu on it. So that's actually I'm a rock star. Holds all my medals and things like that from running and doing stuff, and it's just inspirational stuff to keep me going. My little pinky corner.
That's incredible. Well, we're going to find out more about that coming up. First off, let's talk about the book a little bit. So, the Lemonade Stand, you joined up. I'm very, very pleased that you're a part of it. We already have pretty much a final edit on your story, and I'm drawing a blank right now. I know the story, but what is the title of your story?
The Tutu Lady and Tutu Spirit.
That's right. Okay, great. All right. Great title because who wouldn't be interested in wanting to find out about the
Who
tutu
wants
lady
to know about the Tutu Lady?
spirit? So, anyway, we have a variety of women coming from all different kinds of situations, and that's what I love about the book is that we do have so many different stories, and because that's what resonates with the world. Everybody has their
Right.
lemons, and they're all different. So, without giving it away, because I want people to buy the book, so we can't tell the whole story here. Um, What's a little piece that you want to share right now about your story?
A piece about my story is a little bit about running, how running influenced my life and influenced me to make some pretty big changes in my life, and how the Girls on the Run program changed my life and my viewpoint on my life. I hope that I inspire others, not just to run, because not everybody's a runner, but hopefully inspire others to get involved and to stand up for themselves a little bit,
Hmm.
and to celebrate women, to celebrate girls, to celebrate each other.
Yeah, that's a pretty good reason to get up every morning, isn't it?
It is, and I feel honored to be in um, in the group with all of these other women. For a while I didn't feel worthy because some of these stories and some of these women are really, really powerful. But more that I've come to listen and in our Facebook group and talk to people, excuse me, I've realized that everybody's story is different. Everybody's story has value.
Yep, yep. And we are all worthy, and that's been my big lesson because I've always kind of felt like the one who, with a little bit of a lesser than all these amazing people that I meet and come across, and through the process, I've learned that I'm as good as worthy as anybody. So I know in the beginning you did kind of voice that a little bit, and I'm like, Kristine, that idea away.
Right. I apologize. I have a cold,
I'm sorry.
so I'm trying to get past the cold and do this.
Well, we could have postponed, but let's see if we can power through it. And
Thank you.
I won't keep you talking too much too long, because I know that's usually what gets me when I have a cold.
Right.
Um, So let's talk a little bit about Girls on the Run, because that was kind of the beginning of your, well, maybe not the beginning of your charitable involvement, but at least the beginning in your story
Right.
of being a very impactful group for you.
I love the program. It's Girls on the Run is positive self-esteem, positive body image for girls in grades 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
It is lessons about those things through running, and the girls do a 5K when they're finished as a culmination to the program. At the lessons that I learned from that program and the lessons that I teach the girls in that program, I've been involved for over 10 years now, and they still resonate with me, and it's what I wish I had when I was a girl growing up. They have made a huge impact on my own daughters and on me. So it's vital to me to give back to that program and to keep that going, because there are generations of girls that still need those messages and still need to hear what Girls on the Run has to say. My involvement with Girls on the Run led to another charity group called Blessings, which is scholarships for women. It's for women returning to college or to a further degree after challenges in their life. Divorce, abuse, things like that, that kind of get women, or even just raising a family, that get women off track and they don't finish their education. And so Blessings comes in and helps them with scholarships to further their education.
That's terrific. I'm one of those late bloomers in that I didn't finally get my degree until I was 39, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
everybody needs that. And sometimes we all just need a little help to do that. And
exactly.
as women, we put our lives on hold for other people. And sometimes we need a little bit of a reminder that we're important as well, and that our education is important.
Yeah, it really is. And I commend you for the work that you're doing to really trying to lift other women up. I, I'm thinking back on part of your story when you talked about the lessons you were teaching to the girls and Girls on the Run. When you realized, that moment you realized that what you were actually teaching them was lessons that you needed to learn.
Right. And I think that all women need to hear them. We're all insecure. We all have those moments,
Yeah,
where we don't feel good enough. We feel less than. We don't feel we belong in that room. And all
right.
of us do belong. We all fight with body image. I mean, the cosmetic surgery industry has built a multi-billion-dollar business on women's insecurity with their bodies. And we need to get comfortable with who we are and where we are and what we have to offer. And I think that that's what I take away from that, is that I'm teaching girls that they belong in that room. They belong wherever and how they look and how they feel. They need to own who they are. And once you own who you are, that's a whole new level of confidence.
Yeah, it really is, and that's pretty powerful right there. I like that phrase, "Own who you are." That's great.
It is.
I think I need
And
to hang that one up.
it also provides community, and I think that's one of the reasons I love this book, is that it provided a community of women to come together and share their stories. Doesn't mean that anybody else's story is less than. It means that it's different.
Yeah,
And we all have our struggles, and we all have things that we consistently deal with. I mean, this morning wasn't a great morning, but I just powered through, and we move on and we move forward and we keep going, because that's what has to happen. And the women in the group allow that
yeah,
inspiration. And I think that my particular story may not resonate with every reader. However, I may give that book or share that book with somebody, and another story in a book resonates
yeah,
with another reader. And like I said, it's just about community. I have I call it a side hustle, or a business, where I am a independent noonday ambassador, which is a fair trade fashion brand.
mm-hmm.
Providing community, women getting together. It's all about providing for other women that are halfway around the world, that are, I think we as a society have gotten away from community. Girls on the Run provides a community
Yeah.
for girls. Lessons provides a community for women. Noonday provides a community for women. This book provides community. We have gotten away from that. And where we feel connected is social media, but that's not a real and true connection. That's
No.
not community like it used to be.
It's fun, and even within our community at the Lemonade Stand, I mean, we use social media and we enjoy some of the stuff that's going back and forth. But you're right, that all by itself does not create the community. That is not
Correct.
real, authentic conversation. And I'm so glad you brought that up about the community, because that was a real surprise to me. A very pleasant and unexpected surprise was the community that sprang out of this. Originally the book came together because I had met inspiring women with powerful stories, and I was like, these stories need to be told. But I really didn't expect that wonderful engagement that we all started, and it was kind of instant love. It's blown me away. And
I'm a big one for signs, symbols, that kind of thing. And I was invited to participate by a friend of mine from high school, and I hemmed and hawed, like, I just wasn't sure. But when I put it out there, there were just too many signs not to do it. And when I started asking people in the group, they were like, well, yeah, of course. And it became a really supportive thing of, you need to share this story. It's a good story. It's not just, and for me, I don't think it's so much about sharing my story for the book. It's been very liberating just writing it down and putting it out there into the universe. And honestly, if it helps one human being, then it will be 100% worth all the sweat equity that we've all put into it.
Yeah. Well, I know it's helped one person because it's helped you, Kristine, because you've really blossomed. You really have, and I'm really excited about that. But you know that there are going to be readers out there that are really going to get something from all the stories. And again, you're right. There, certain stories are going to resonate with certain people, and but that's the beauty of the book being, very varied in the stories and whatnot. But let's get back to the community idea, because I don't know where we lost it, but if you think back and and even the ancient times, where women were at the creek washing laundry together, and gathering around community fires and cooking, and it's not that I want to take us back to that time that our purpose is laundry and cooking, but the idea of that tribe mindset, and just being there as a supportive person, as opposed to we've all gone off in our different direction, and women are guilty of saying, I can handle it all.
And I think that whole, no, we don't want to go back to the red tent, but I think that whole mentality of time together with other women and to talk is really, really important. And I think that women in general have been given this idea that, first of all, we have to do it all, that we're less than if we don't do it all. And in doing it all, we've decided that we have to put other women under to make ourselves more powerful. And
wow,
that's not the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, women do better when they support other women, not when they're fighting against other women, but when they are truly supportive. My success does not diminish your success. What it does is shine a light on both of us being successful. And I think that is something that we've gotten away from and gotten lost, because women used to be together. It was always the women cooking, and, families lived close together. You relied on your parents and your in-laws a lot. to do the child rearing and
Yeah.
to, Sunday dinner and things like that. And we don't do that anymore. The other
No.
thing I find is that when women do get together, they either are complaining about things that don't matter,
Yeah.
or they are saying everything's great.
Yeah.
And
The
they're not.
illusion. Yeah.
Exactly. And we're talking about, oh, my husband left the socks on the floor, or my kid didn't pick up his lunch bag. We're not talking about the underlying issues of the fact that we might be unhappy, the
Yeah.
fact that we might be unfulfilled, the fact that we might be living in a situation that is very uncomfortable for us. And I think that women are sometimes afraid that if they open up a little bit like that, other women will judge them.
Yep.
And I had it happen. So I know that fear is very real.
It is, without a doubt. And you stated it very, very eloquently and personally. But yeah. And that kind of hit me, about the kind of undermining women to create your own power. And I hadn't really thought about it in that way, but you're right. And then you're also right in that we do so much better as a supportive group as opposed to trying to elevate ourselves through failures. There's failures. I mean, that's really backwards. And so that's cool that you're able to state it that way. Really,
Okay.
really, it really, and that's what I hope this book is going to do too, is like give them the aha moment of, where they read something like that and it's like, wow, that's me, or I can do this too, or
Well, and that's what I'm hoping, is the word hope, is giving women hope. That if you support one another, look at what you can do. Look at the women in this book. We are supporting one another. You are supporting us. And what I've learned in reading, bios and just, in our Facebook group, getting to know the other women in the book, is that the common thread is that we all want to help other women. We want to help other women succeed. We want to help, and not just women in general, but people in general. We want to help people succeed, children, adults. We want people to succeed, and we want to support them in that and give them hope that if we can do it, anybody can do it.
Right.
I see that about running. Heck, I'm not fast, but if I can do it, anybody can. It's just putting one foot in front of the other. It doesn't take long. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a great
Moving
segue
forward.
because I wanted to touch on that a little bit, because that was kind of the surprise element of your story that I wasn't expecting, because again, without giving it away, I already knew kind of your backstory of your personal and family life, and so I expected it to be all about that, which you do cover that, but it was that introduction into running first as a part of as the first of the book that really intrigued me, and how that then started, I don't know, changing your way of thinking, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong, but almost the running became something you did because you didn't have to think about everything else.
It is, and I think that we all look for escape. Every human being is looking to escape. Some of us use running. Some of us use the gym. Some of us look for, online gaming or whatever. Some people use drinking. Some people use gambling. Everybody is looking to escape. For me, running was escape. However, the time alone, I wasn't escaping much, because what you do when you run is you are stuck with yourself.
Yep.
And you get stuck with your own thoughts for however long you're out there. And it could be walking too. Like if you want to go for a long walk, you're stuck with yourself, and I run with a group. And so you talk with the group, and it's either with somebody else or on your own. You're pretty much out there, and you got to think of things to talk about or think of. So for me, running allowed me time that I wasn't normally allowing myself. I think we also, as a society, stay so busy. I read something the other day about we keep busy so that we don't have to address the issues that we're uncomfortable with. It's become an illness that we are busy so that we don't have to think about those things. Because when we slow down, we actually have to think about the things that are uncomfortable. And so for me, that time when I was running was like, yeah, this isn't working out for me, or that's not really, I don't understand what this is. Or so it gave me a lot of processing time that I wouldn't normally have given myself. And I didn't realize that until I had been running a while.
Yeah. Kind of meditation in motion.
Right.
It sounds like
And
to
that's
me.
totally what it is. I mean, I run, I do yoga, and both of those things, you're like on your own. You're in your own head, and you got to deal with yourself. And
Yeah.
sometimes people don't like to deal with themselves, because when you have to be honest with yourself, that becomes very, very uncomfortable a lot of the time, because you have to own up to your own faults and your successes as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot.
It is powerful stuff. I know I don't like to get lost in my head too very often, but
No, right?
yeah. But I mean, but we have to. I mean,
Right.
we do have to own up to ourselves, and um, in that, I wish I could run. I mean, when I hear about people running, I get this image, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just, like I would, like
I
it's
do
almost
not
like
look like those
flying.
girls in the ads, that's for sure. I look at those, there's all those memes of what you think about what you look like when you run. I am not it. Like, it is not, no. I am an endurance athlete. I
Yeah.
get my money's worth out of every race that I run. I am out there for as long as it takes me. I
So let's
go,
talk about the races, which is really where
yeah.
Tutu Lady was born, right?
Right. I
So
run
let's talk
every
about
race
that.
I run every race in a tutu. My Girls on the Run, that's where it started. It allows me to talk about Girls on the Run and advocate for Girls on the Run. I don't want to give too much away about, where that came from, because that's in my story. But I do. I have different tutus for different races, and they're usually themed with what the race is. The original hangs in my room here with all of my medals, but I have others now, and I run every race in a tutu. This year I am sidelined from the Chicago Marathon due to a hip injury. But I will be wearing a tutu. I will be at an aid station volunteering with Blessings to help support them and help support the runners that are that'll be running the Chicago Marathon this coming Sunday. So I'm really excited to give back and be on the other side.
Oh, cool.
Every year I thank those people giving out water and joke around that I'm going to switch with them, but this year I am. So I'm really excited to do that and to support the runners from the other side.
I was going to say that I think the tutu, there's almost like a secondary message there too, because that means you have a confidence in yourself that, if you don't care if somebody thinks you look silly or, or whatever. It's just, that's who you are. You're the tutu lady, and you're going to be out there.
And that's the funny thing, is that the tutu allows for conversation. And I think, again, that community sense, or that feeling of, belonging. I get out there at races and I'm, cheering other runners as I'm going and talking to people as I'm going along, and people will come by and say, "Ooh, nice skirt." I'm like, "It's not a skirt, it's a tutu." Or they'll say, "Why are you wearing that?" And I'll be able to tell them. So it provides a conversation piece. It allows me to be a little bit sillier when I run.
Right.
I do little dances and I take pictures with people. I also try and find children as I'm running, especially little girls. And the tutu lady leaves a little sparkle wherever she goes. So I will usually untie, if I see a little girl that's cheering along the race course, I'll untie a piece of that tutu and either tie it on her wrist or tie it in her hair. The tutu lady has traveled to the Pride Parade and has given out free mom hugs to at the Pride Parade for several years. So that's always fun for me too. I'm a huge LGBTQ plus advocate. So that, for me, again, that feeling of community and belonging, the tutu lady goes there too. So
I think that's great. I love the mom hugs, and I have two girls who are young adults, and you know, what am I trying to convey? Just understanding how even some of their friends and whatnot, who
Right.
don't have the connection. I mean, sometimes I take them on, as my kids,
Take them under
because
your wing.
yeah, it's just I'm known as Mama Michelle, so and I
That's
give
it.
the
They
mom
call me
hug.
Mama B.
Yeah,
I'm Mama B to a lot of kids. My former students call me that. My kids' friends are always here. But when I do the free mom hugs and I go out with that and I'm in the LGBTQ plus community, that to me, there are a lot of kids that don't have supportive parents
right.
that are, when they come out, they are put out
Yeah,
and don't have a family connection anymore. So for me, that's just important. And the amount of energy that just a hug conveys is
right.
huge. And
Well,
just knowing that they're seen. I think we as humans just want to be seen and want to know that people validate us as a human being. And when you don't feel validated, that's a tough road to go.
yeah, it is. And I think there's another word too that needs to be in there, and that's acceptance.
Right.
In the end, we want to be accepted for who and what we are. And it's not about how much we accomplish, how
Yeah.
much money we make, how much, it's, that's side stuff. That's good. We work towards that. That motivates us, those things. But it's really just accept me for who I am
And
and
I think
and
that
and love me
circles
for who I
back,
am. Yeah,
right, that circles back to Girls on the Run. If you can accept yourself for who you are and you can learn to love yourself, size, shape, color, orientation, whatever that is, if you can learn to love yourself, then you allow others to love you as
yeah.
well. And we want to be accepted by others and we need to accept ourselves for who we are too.
Well, how
And I
can we
think
expect someone else to love us or accept us if we can't do that?
And that's what Mama RuPaul says all the time. How can you expect somebody else to love you if you can't love yourself?
Yeah,
So that's huge. You have to, and for the girls that I coach, that's important, and that gets ingrained in what they're doing. Is you got to love who you are, no matter what it is. You have to love yourself, and it's
yeah,
not going to be easy. I'm in my 50s and I'm still learning those lessons about how to love myself through my faults and my foibles and how to really offer myself grace. We aren't perfect human beings, and to be able to offer others and ourselves grace is huge. It's so huge.
can you just imagine how much time we would gain back, how much we've wasted in terms of our energy and whatnot learning what we're learning now at our ages, if we had figured it out when we
Yeah,
were
but we
10?
wouldn't be the women that we are now, and we wouldn't be the
Uh,
powerhouses we are now without going through. I say that to my own children all the time. I'm like, you guys are hardheads, like your mama. You got
yeah,
to go through it to learn the lessons.
yeah,
And somebody could tell me all the time that these are things that you have to know, but until you go through it and you actually live it, you don't really embrace that, and it doesn't become a part of who you are. And we women know what we know and are who we are because of what we've gone through.
right.
That's part of the story of who we are.
It very much is, but I think that a lot of us, and I'm talking collectively of our Lemonade Dan group, have really taken it to the next level. And this is where I saw the book really fulfilling a need, is that I know people, young and old, all different ages and whatnot, who feel like the black cloud only hangs over them.
Right.
Like, that's the story of my life, and they just continue to put out the negativity around that, which I believe draws more negativity in like a magnet. But I've gotten kind of caught up in some of the attitudes of like, it's only about me, it only happened to me. No, it's happening to everyone.
Well, and
Uh,
that goes back to that whole community and talking about things. And it's a society, we're the selfie society. Everybody's taking selfies. Look at me, look at me. Well, yeah, it is about you and those things, but it's also, there's other people that are mired in their own stuff, and today may be your day to be really down in the dumps, but you can't live there. You have to move out of there. And I was telling somebody yesterday that I have surrounded myself with a lot of really good tow trucks that we sometimes veer off the road and we get stuck in a rut, or we go off the road and we get trapped in a mud puddle, you know? And so we got to get those tow trucks in our life to yank us out and pull us back out. And so the more that you surround yourself with those really good tow trucks that are going to pull you out and that are going to put you back on your path, the better off you're going to be in life, because you're not living in that stuck mentality. The people that you surround yourself with aren't going to allow it. They're a tow truck for a reason. They're not towing you around forever. They're getting you back on the road, and they're going to send you on your way, and they'll be there when you need them again. But they're there just to get you going again and to get you moving in the right way again.
That's a great analogy. We all need tow trucks in our life.
Exactly. I tell people all the time, who's your tow truck? Like, are you surrounded with really good tow trucks? Who are they? Because we need those tow trucks in our life. Like I said, they're not going to follow you forever, because that's not what a tow truck does. It pulls you out and sets you back on your course so that you can get back on the road and move forward. That's your job. And that's what good tow trucks do. And we as women need to be that for other people, so that when we need them, those tow trucks are there for us.
It's like the circle of life. It's like we need tow truck to get us unstuck so that we can go on, move forward, and be a tow truck for someone else.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, I love that. That's just really cool. You know what I love about these podcasts? No, it's funny because I told you I wing it a lot, and I just have this conversation, and then I stop and I'll get caught up in my head because I'm listening, and we're having these dynamic conversation, and then things are going on in my brain as I'm listening to this. So sometimes I get off track a little bit, but it's in a good way, in a really good
tow truck getting you back on course.
It's like, okay, Kristine, you got to pull me back into the conversation here. Keep going straight.
So I'm really excited about this book because I really think that it's going to be a tow truck for some women. It's going to show them that, like that whole, if I can do it, you can do it too. And that you can't live in that, it's only happening to me. And I was there for a while. I get it. Like, I completely understand. I was the poor me for a while. And it took me acknowledging that and acknowledging that I could stay there. I wasn't going to be happy there. I had to figure out a way to get myself to another place. And that took some time and some processing and some help to do that. But I feel that some women and some people don't have that, or they're just more comfortable. It is very uncomfortable to get yourself out of that position of being the victim, being the one that is, it's poor me. That's an easy place to be a lot of the time. And it's very uncomfortable, and it's a lot of work to get out of there. But what I found is none of the women in this book are poor me. Maybe they were for a while, but they had their tow trucks and they surrounded themselves and they moved on, right? And so what they want is that for other people, is to show them that, it's okay. Everybody falls off track. Everybody has those moments, but we got to move forward. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of guts and a lot of courage and a lot of grace to move forward, to be able to go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as you were talking, what I was thinking about is that we all have our heart word or phrase. And to explain to the listeners, so we have one of our authors who created a T-shirt.
I'm so excited for this T-shirt.
I know. And she's actually ordered them, so we'll be seeing them soon. But anyway, so she created this T-shirt that stands on its own, but it also complements the book. And essentially, it's a heart filled with words and phrases. Each author contributed what their word was or phrase, and and it was intended to be the word that most resonated with them, from their story. And yours was forward as a pace,
Right.
correct? Yep.
Yep.
And so
I love it
I
so
think
much. I have it tattooed on my ankle.
so, but basically, I think you really explained it already. I mean, normally I would come in and say, "Why is that your phrase?" But I think you just you nailed it already. As to it put a step in front of you, to move forward. Whether it's in running or in getting out of a bad situation, or having a tow truck help you.
Right.
As long as you're moving forward.
You have to move forward. You can stagnate, but we all know what happens to stagnant water. It gets nasty, it collects bugs, and nobody wants to be near the stagnant water because it smells. I don't want to be stagnant water. So some days they're baby steps. I mean, literally getting out of bed is a chore, and sitting up and that is difficult. And other days it's giant leaps. It's up and down and it's twirling around and dancing with my tutu. But it's always moving forward. You cannot live in the past. You cannot go backwards. We don't live there. We live in the present, and we're moving towards the future. And I want a better future for my children. I want a better future for myself and for the planet. So I have to move forward, and I have to be a part of that. Me sitting and stagnating does nobody any good.
Nope. It's so true. And
so forward as a pace means that it's what happens in running. Runners go by pace. So some runners are an 8-minute mile. I am so not that. I am more a 12-minute miler. So, and time is numbers on a clock anyway. So it doesn't really mean much other than it is what it is. But so pace is what runners go by. And it's also what I go by in my life, because if I'm moving forward, that's my pace at the time. That's what I'm doing. And it might be fast, it might be slow, it might be anything but backwards. I do not want to go backwards anymore.
No, it's not a good place to be.
I've done enough of that.
Yep. Yeah, we've already been through that, so we don't need to go through it again. So
it's all about moving forward.
Yeah.
And I think we all need to know that. And you're allowed to stagnate for a little bit, but it's that, do you want to be that smelly water? And do you want to have the collecting bugs because you're not moving? No, I don't. I want to be that beautiful stream that everybody wants to be a part of, and, and just be the bubbly person that I am. And that means that I have to move forward, and I have to find a way to do that effectively.
Yeah, everybody that, part of our community offers, they offer so many things, but I kind of look at different people and what is the thing that draws me the most. And I think you just kind of said it. There's an energy and a bubbly thing coming up from you that really, I don't want to say it makes me laugh so much as it just makes me smile, and it makes, you bring a lot of light to, at least to my life. And
well, thank you. That's the tutu spirit. The tutu lady just brings it, And it's all about love. And if you love yourself and love who you are, for all that you are, you allow other people to see that and feel that in themselves. And my Girls on the Run taught me that. And they continue to teach me that. And so I feel an obligation, a really strong obligation, to share that with other people and to make other people feel good about themselves and feel that they matter and feel that they're loved, because everybody needs that. We all need that more in the world.
Yeah, you really are Mama Bee, aren't you?
I am. Everybody's mama.
Yeah, the last thing I'm going to touch on is, You post regularly on Facebook. We're Facebook friends, so I read them. And I'm really inspired. And I have to ask, do you just get up at the crack of dawn every morning and come up with these like amazing things? Because I see you post these things, so I know you got to be up early putting that out there.
I'm up at the crack of dawn. Yes, I'm an early riser. I'm a morning person, so I like that. Sometimes there are things that I've done before. Sometimes there are things that I kind of have seen something and write my own, maybe the day before or whatever, and people will comment on them. And I always say the same thing. I write what I need that day,
Yeah,
really what I need to hear. I'm writing it for myself. And if it resonates with somebody else, hallelujah, yay.
yeah,
I've inspired somebody else and it's resonating with them. But mostly it's just for myself. And then so I write my piece, and then there's always a picture with a quote that I find online somewhere and a daily challenge.
yeah.
It might be to be happy. It might be joyful. It might be whatever it is that goes along with that particular thing that I wrote that day. And so I think that that gives people a little bit of an upsweep on their social media feed, because in the political climate that we're in, it's
Yeah.
pretty negative. There's a lot of backbiting and meanness. And so I just hope that I offer a little bit of inspiration and a little bit of respite to some
Well,
people, you
you
know?
do, but the other thing that I want to point out, and I hope that you'll appreciate where this comes from, is that um, this is coming from your heart. There's plenty of people that are trying to be inspirational out on social media. They're
Right,
they're finding a quote, and putting it out there, and which is fine. Some of these are amazing quotes, but it's not really from them.
right,
They're borrowing somebody else's
right.
words, putting it out there. Where I feel the inspiration from what you put out there, because I'm like, that Kristine talking, that Kristine's words,
And
and
like I
that's
said,
where
it's
you're
what I
headed.
want to tell myself and what I need to hear that day. And so I'm just glad that it resonates with other people, because most days it's honest to God what I need. And some
Yeah,
of them I recycle. I guarantee you I go back into my memories and I'm like, oh, that one's there. I'll go into my notes and I'm like, oh, I did that one. And yeah, I still need that. So let's repost that with a different picture, because
totally believe in repurposing,
I just
content.
need to repurpose that bad boy,
Yep,
because I need to hear that message again.
yep,
I need to know that. And again, I might look at it differently and think, oh, well, I posted about happiness the other day or last year, and wait, I still need that, but I needed it for a different reason this time.
right.
So it's all about what I need. And I'm just glad, like I said, that it resonates with someone else,
Yep.
because other people do. I've had people tell me, like, I get up every morning and that's the way that I start my day. Thank you so much. And I'm like, I'm just doing what I do. I need it for myself. I'm just glad you like it.
Well, it's
You know?
okay that it's selfish in nature, but in the end,
Right.
it's helping other people as well.
And
So,
that's the thing. I don't do what I do. I just do me.
yeah.
And I'm just glad that that inspires other people as I go along.
Yeah, well, Kristine is pretty inspiring, I have to
Well,
tell you.
thank
So I have had, it's been such a joy getting to know you. We didn't know each other prior to you coming on board with the lemonade stand, and we still haven't met in person, but we're going to.
you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so I'll be there in Chicago, visiting my daughters, and hooking up with you, and I'm really, really looking forward to that, because I want to get that real mom hug, even though I'm older than you. I
That's
still want the
okay.
mom hug, and so I'm really excited about that. And because again, it's like it's amazing that we're making such an effort to really be there for each other, and if that
That
means
community.
you know, I have to tell you, I'm the type of person that it would just be so much easier just to go to Chicago and see my kids and, hunker away from the rest of the world. But the first thing I thought of, since I, you know, the book is helping me come out of my shell. And the first thing I thought of was, I got to reach out to Kristine and see if, if we can get together. So
I know. I'd much rather. I'm one of those people. I'm stay on my couch, watch my TV and or movie with my dog. I'm happy that way. But you know what? Getting out there again, it's that community and building
yeah,
that community and putting yourself out there. Because with the more that we put ourselves out in a positive way and try to make those connections, the deeper that we become with others,
yeah.
and it enhances who we are, and then we can transfer that to other people as well.
Exactly, without a doubt. So, thank you so much
Well,
for
thank you.
being here and sharing yourself. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people who are now that much more interested in the lemonade stand to find out the whole story.
Yay.
Although a chapter isn't really a whole story, so, I
No,
mean,
just a
it,
chapter.
but it's
Someday
a
I'll
start.
write the whole
Yeah,
story. Someday
yeah.
I'll write that whole thing down.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you like to give contact information for Girls on the Run and Blessing, in case
Um,
anybody wants to
they
look
are,
into it
you can
more?
just Google both, Girls on the Run and Blessings. Um, Girls on the Run Chicago is who I work with. It's GOTR Chicago.org, or Girls on the Run National, which is out of North Carolina. And you can just Google search Girls on the Run. Blessings is Chicago, and that is blessingsforwomen.org. Um, and you can just Google search Blessings for Women, and their website will pop up. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Piece of My Soul 22, which is PEACE of my SOLE 22, as in tutu lady. You can also search for hashtag tutu lady on Instagram, and I should come right up as pictures on the hashtag. So
Awesome. Yeah.
um, yeah, and Noonday Collection, fair trade fashion for women is always fun.
Okay. Great. And Blessing, just to make mention, that's a blending of the word blessing and lesson, right? Yeah,
Correct.
lesson. So, cool word. I love that. So again, thank you. Appreciate your time. And I so excited to see you coming up. I mean, the book should be launched right around the time that we get together. So we'll
I'm
be
so
having a
excited. We'll
celebratory.
take our book and share it with the people at the restaurant. It'll be
There you
great.
go. Woo!
Yay!
Have a book signing right there.
There you go. Sign a book,
All
get a piece of the tutu.
right. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you. And this is the middle of Happy Hump Day.
Yes.
And I hope the rest
Happy
of you I hope the rest of your week is just absolutely fantastic. So, anyway, thank you. I'm going to stop there because otherwise I will be thanking you,
We'll be
till
thanking each other, but just keep moving forward. That's all we're going to do. Just keep moving
forward
forward.
of the pace. Yeah, I'm going
There
to
you
keep
go.
moving forward. All right, with that, I'm gonna say my final goodbye here, and I want you to know you appreciate it. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, absolutely. Let me just